And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to beautiful Joltis Mega Super Speedway as we get ready here for chase race number 6 in our battle for the championship here in the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We're getting ready here for knockout qualifying. 20 drivers vying for 7 slots in this race. A track that can hold them 5, 6, 7, 8. We've even seen them go 9 wide here before. They normally don't make it through the turn without wrecking, but they've attempted it before as we're getting ready here to find out who's going to have the fastest lap times. They've only got 4 minutes left. They've already used up the full minute of their allotted 5-minute times as there you see drivers heading out on track there. The 05 of Strigley, the 20 of Cody Lamas, the 12 of Johnny Gardner. I believe those are the first cars to exit pit road. This racetrack, I believe, is, I want to say, 4 miles long? I want to say it's 4 miles long. It might be 3.5. I might be incorrect. But whatever the case, put it this way. It's a big track. And it's going to take them a lot of time to get around this racetrack and complete a lap. So, very wise strategy on the part of Johnny Gardner, Lamas, Strigley to get off pit road as quickly as possible, get the car up to speed, and turn as good a lap as you can, because by the time they take the green flag to start their lap, they're more than likely going to have maybe 2.5, 2 3/4 minutes to be able to turn a lap time. So for those drivers sitting on pit road, that may not be the best strategy. It'll be interesting to see how many drivers actually do turn a lap in this 5-minute session. There have been times here in knockout qualifying this season where a driver has not even turned a timed lap. Cody Lamas going to get the run, the slipstream off the back of Johnny Gardner and go to the inside line. First timed lap for the 12, the 20, and the 05. And they're going to go side by side, are Cody Lamas and Johnny Gardner. The one driver I'd love to be right now is that Pepsi Max Chevrolet there of Joseph Strigley. He's getting a tremendous amount of draft off of these two from battling. That's really going to help his lap time and his chances of getting into the main show. Now they'll form up nose to tail here to try and create a single lane draft. And whoa, Johnny Gardner going to go down to the apron there. Now the interesting thing that you're seeing here with Johnny Gardner doing that is in drivers meeting, the drivers were briefed that they are allowed to use the apron here at Joltis. And that's going to be huge into the battling we're going to see here in the main event races. Strigley now will dip to the inside on Cody Lamas and going to keep at least 2 of his tires. Oh, nope. As soon as I say that, he's going to go to the apron. I thought he was going to keep it just to the right of one of those yellow lines, but not quite. Johnny Gardner going to move down there with him. And Strigley will slingshot by. Now, I believe Joseph Strigley is going to be the first driver to lay down a timed lap. As here they come out of the final corner, heading down towards the front straightaway. Very long turn, and here they come down to the stripe. Let's see what kind of lap times they're going to lay down with a little more than a minute left. Fastest lap, Strigley, 130.890. Gardner with a 131.8, 131.9 for Cody Lamas. Jace Nelson, 135 by himself. Sean Galligan, also by himself. What lap time's he going to lay down? 135.4. Kyle Matthews, 134.5. That's a fast enough lap time to beat Galligan and Nelson. Austin Gipe, 134.2. Now he's up to 4th. Acavito and Zach Flickinger, both in the 134.3, 134.4. This could be a group right here that could get something done. Gonzalez, he's 11th. Chris Dowd, though, up to 3rd. Citadino up to 6th. And Matt McIntyre, top of the board. 130.676. Joshua Michaels and Zachary Fitzwater, now 6th and 8th. Michael Norman, 13th. Stephen Paul with the 3rd, was 16th fastest. McMillan's coming down to complete his first lap. Same for Seth Cole. And time just ran out. I don't know if McMillan's going to get scored again or Seth Cole. 14th for Seth Cole, 18th for McMillan. Let's see what these drivers do. Top of the leaderboard, Cody Lamas, 130.3. Gardner, 130.648. Just beat out Matt McIntyre. Dallas McIntosh was 9th fastest with a 134.010. And Joseph Srigley now to 4th. Now, I think that's the last time those drivers are going to be scored. Side by side here between Flickinger and Acavito. It's going to come down to Matt McIntyre, Chris Dowd, John Cittadino, that group, I think, as to who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Right now, Dowd and Cittadino are in, along with McIntyre. And here we go. Will Brandon Gonzalez knock somebody out? 2nd for Dowd, 3rd for Cittadino, 4th for Brandon Gonzalez, and that will eliminate Joseph Srigley out of the top 7, and now Joshua Michaels just got kicked out of the top 7 because of the car that drafted off of him, Zach Flickinger. He just moved to 7th, knocked Michaels out to 8th, and I believe that's going to be all she wrote. I don't think anybody else is going to have time to be able to lay down another lap time. I don't even think these drivers are. It looks like it's going to be Matt McIntyre, Chris Dowd, John Cittadino, who all hit the 129s, Brandon Gonzalez, Cody Lamas, Johnny Gardner, and Zachary Fitzwater that are going to transfer in. As Cody Lamas crossed the line, they did not score him that time. That says to me that the session is over. And we have our 7 drivers that are going to transfer in. And there you go. Session complete. Matt McIntyre, 129.2. That is a really fast lap time. He will get the fastest lap time here in knockout qualifying, make his way into the main event, joined by Chris Dowd, John Cittadino, Brandon Gonzalez, Cody Lamas, Johnny Gardner, and Zachary Fitzwater. Missing out on the show, Joshua Michaels by 3/100ths will miss it. Joseph Srigley, Zach Flickinger, Grayson Acavito, Dallas McIntosh, Austin Geip, Kyle Matthews, Michael Norman, Seth Cole, Jason Nelson, Stephen Paul III, Sean Galligan, and Sam McMillan will also miss the show. From 12th place on down, it really came down to the fact that they had no drafting partners for this knockout qualifying session. So we have our 7 drivers that will make up the remainder of the 42-car field. It's time to go racing now in our 6th race of the Chase for the Championship here today at Zen Joltis. Let's head there now. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second half of the season in our Chase for the Championship for the Hersheys Cup Series. This is Chase race number 6. We are here at Zen Joltis, Mega Super Speedway, getting ready for a track that can hold them 5, 6, sometimes if we're lucky even 7 and 8 wide, although sometimes when they stretch it that far, we usually have ourselves a massive wreck. But coming into today's race, there are 2 factors that really could play a huge role into the outcome of today's race, as well as what the chase points will be looking like, heading into next week. Element number 1, you see that double yellow line to the right side of these drivers here in your shot? That is normally considered out of bounds, but here today, and you saw in knockout qualifying, that double yellow line doesn't mean a thing. All it does is show the difference between the racetrack and the apron. It's going to serve absolutely no purpose whatsoever in causing these drivers to not be allowed to use that apron in order to make passes. Element number 2, normally with a big track like this, you would hope for a caution flag to bunch everybody back up. Today, there will be no yellow flags displayed. Not saying we won't have wrecks, but there will be no cautions in today's event. Track position may also be a huge key in this race to stay ahead of those potential wrecks that could happen, and we have 2 chasers starting and making up the front row here today. It's actually the 2nd straight week we have had an all-chaser front row. Last week at Lime Rock, it was Anthony McCurry and Noah Cars. Here this week, Rocco Twyman and Joshua Circuli. Coming into this race, both of them find themselves 39 points out of the points lead. Twyman right now officially scored in 7th, Circuli scored in 9th, as there's a three-way tie for the 7th position, but technically they're both tied for 7th in the point standings coming into today's race. Twyman looking for his 2nd win of the season, Circuli looking for his 3rd, which would tie him with our current leader in wins, the 44 of Mason Powers. Making up row 2, you've got John Arndt, who ended up finishing, I believe it was runner-up in the Daytona 500. It was either 2nd or 3rd, as AS Racing finished in the podium, 2 of the spots of the podium. He's still looking for his 1st win of the season, lining up 3rd, and there's Anthony McCrory lining up in the 4th position. Last week, a heartbreaker for McCrory, as he just barely missed out on winning the race at Lime Rock after getting passed last minute and losing the lead and victory. He will start off 4th here today. Then Zachary Fitzwater and JT Bryant making up row 3. William Brock and a go-homer and Chris Dowd making up row number 4. And then you got some more chasers making up row 5. Benjamin Miles, who is the 3rd driver in that three-way tie for 7th, 39 points back. Line up alongside of Jeremy Jones, who I don't want to say has faded from the title picture, but after a poor run last week at Lime Rock where he finished out of the race, Jones finds himself 10th in the point standings, 51 points out. He needs really good runs here this week and in the next coming weeks to be even mathematically eligible in the season finale for the championship. We go back further here through the remainder of your field. There's Noah Kars, Tim Walsh, Jake Baskinger, some chasers starting mid-pack. Move closer to the rear of the field. There was the 33 of Kean Eddington. There's the 5 of Joshua Lee. And then go way towards the tail end of the field. You got Blaine Keys back here in the 48. And look who is starting way back here in the 41st position. Mason Powers, who in 3 of our races at SS tracks this season has been to victory lane. Can he make it 4 wins at super speedways? We're moments away from finding out. We're getting ready to go down trackside now, though, to get the command to fire him up here for today's race at Joltis.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's the command to fire him up. That will be 20 laps of racing, caution-free, not necessarily incident-free. So it's going to come down to a survival race for a number of these drivers, most importantly, the chase drivers. We saw in knockout qualifying, drivers are able to make moves on the apron, and we've even seen a 2-car tandem on the apron. You can get down there, another driver can get down there, you can draft with each other. It's like a whole other inside line for these machines. So we'll see in the closing stages of this race if that apron could play a factor into a driver making a move for the win here today at Joltis. I would say that based off mathematics, I would say that if the 18 of Jeremy Jones, the 95 of Jake Baskinger, the 48 of Blaine Keys do not have at least a top 10 run today, they are more than likely going to be out of the hunt for the championship heading into the season finale. The points coming into this race, Anthony McCrory is your points leader. Tim Walsh is second. He is 21 points back. 29 points back is a two-way battle for third place. That's Mason Powers and Noah Kars. Joshua Lee is fifth in points, 32 points out. Kean Eddington, 35 points out, in sixth place. Rocco Twyman, our pole sitter, is in a three-way tie for seventh, 39 points back. Same for Benjamin Miles and Joshua Circuli. Jeremy Jones right now finds himself 10th in the points. He's 51 points out, and I just mentioned as well, Baskinger 11th in points, 73 points back. Blaine Keys, he is 12th in the standings. He is 83 points out of the top position. So pretty much all these drivers are really hoping that the driver on the outside of row 2, Anthony McCrory, has a struggling day today, because that would get them back into contention for this championship. If McCrory has another solid day, that's going to kind of hurt them in a way. It's going to allow them to really gain no ground, even if one of them goes to victory lane and Anthony McCrory finishes in the top 5. That's only about maybe 10 points at the most they would gain on the 61, cutting the points lead down anywhere from 11 to, let's say, 29 points. Here we go, though. Flagman's ready. Green flag's out. We're underway here at Zen Joltis. 20 laps of caution-free racing. Maybe a pit stop or two in the mix as well. We'll see. There you see them choosing their lanes. Benjamin Miles ditching the inside line to move to the middle groove. Jeremy Jones moving to the extreme high line. I think you'll see a lot of drivers maybe try and fall to the back early here to avoid the oncoming doom that is the big one. And oh, Rocco Twyman gets spun! Oh, they're going to come back up the track. Baskinger collected. Here we go. Tim Walsh is in it. I'm looking for more chasers, and I'm not seeing any others, but I saw Cooper Siron, Jessica Shelton get a piece of it. Brandon Gonzalez, as everybody's trying to avoid through the grass. There goes Blaine Keys, Kian Eddington, and Rocco Twyman has teleported to pit road, as has Tristan Folks, Carson Scott, and Mason Powers battle on for the lead. McCrory, look at Benjamin Miles trying to run the apron. He's got LaPlante helping him, and now McCrory's going to go down to block that draft. Look at that. 3 cars on the apron drafting together. And we got to look back here, find out what other chasers are still running. Joshua Lee appears to have gotten through the wreck. There you see Jeremy Jones in the 18. He appears to be okay. Trent Dunham's got some damage there, but he's still drafting with Shelton. Ryan Acosta appears to be okay. There's Blaine Keys. Damage on the 6 of James Richardson, who I think was involved in an incident earlier than what we just saw with Rocco Twyman. Cooper Siron damaged. Leon Alvarez is damaged, as he'll lose a spot there to Kian Eddington. Wow, the 21 of Pichu London crunched up. I think McIntyre might have gotten through it. John Arndt, Jake Baskinger not so lucky, and that may have been the nail in the coffin for Baskinger's championship hopes. JT Bryan involved, Brandon Gonzalez. There is Tim Walsh, who came in second in points. Anthony McCrory's got to love the fact that second place in the stands that was trying to run down for the points lead now finds himself damaged as McCrory is out in front. There you see the smoke from the incident we just had. And we have, if I can count fast enough, about maybe 13 cars in this lead pack, 14 if the, so who is that trying to catch up? Was it Gluba, the 55? Yeah, if Gluba can catch up, we'll have 14 cars. There you got Hartnett, Daniel Bouchard, Joshua Lee, William Brock, Citadino, Jeremy Jones. They're trying to catch up now. If these drivers up here continue to race the way they are right now, no doubt those other drivers drafting with each other in a single car formation will probably reel them in. And up in this lead pack right now, we've got 4 chase drivers, one of them leading the way. That's Joshua Circuli in the 27. Circuli has 2 wins this season, one coming at Sonoma, the other one coming at... Boy, I can't seem to remember where it was. I remember that whatever races they were... Oh, I think it might have been Bristol. Yes, it was. Bristol was where he got his second win. And how ironic, the driver that finished second behind him in both those races is also in this lead pack, that 25 car Benjamin Miles, where his second win of the season. His first one coming at Kentucky. And McCrory peeling out of line, trying to make the move. He'll go down to the apron. Is he going to get drafting help down there, though? Only driver behind him that's on the apron is about a car length and a half back. That's Cody Lamas. Keep in mind, Cody Lamas, 2 restrictor plate races ago, ended up winning at the regular season finale of M&M Super Speedway, and he's in this mix. Oh, Fitzwater got awfully close there to the rear bumper of the 25 of Benjamin Miles. I thought he was going to wreck for a moment. And boy, Cody Lamas didn't really get much room from the 76 either. As Circuli continues to lead, let's look and make sure that nothing else has happened. Dylan Young looks like he's bringing his damaged machine to pit road, the SKF Ford. Leon Alvarez, Trent Dunham now making their way to pit road. Dylan Young's teammate, Johnny Gardner, is on the pit lane now. Folks still on pit road. Pit stop there for Jake Baskinger, repairing the damage on the Thrivent Ford, just trying to get him back out there, salvage what he can. Mason Wood, a lot of damage on the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. Looks like his day will be over. And there is Rocco Twyman, the pole sitter, still sitting on pit road as Gonzalez returns to the off of pit road. Save for JT Bryant, London, Carson Scott, John Arndt. Looks like Shelton, McIntyre, Cyron. Looks like they all made pit stops. Oh, and there's another car in trouble. That's Matt McIntyre, and he was just up in the lead pack. John Cittadino is smoking. I think he was also up towards that lead pack. So something just happened further up. Cody Lamas is on pit road. The 20 car. And that was drivers that were running right up in this group. We're 4 laps in. The leader is Joshua Circuli. We're going to real quickly step aside, take a look at what happened to cause these incidents. Hopefully nothing else breaks out while we're gone. Well, best way to be able to see anybody that got involved is from our helicopter view. And there you see it right there. John Arndt just gets into the left rear of Rocco Twyman. Then he collects JT Bryant and William Brock. And unfortunately, what goes down is going to come back up in NR 2003. And there you see, there's Baskinger, there's Shelton, Walsh, Cyron. There's Tristan Folks nailing the 11. There's London. There's Trent Dunham. Levi McIntyre getting into it right there. And maybe some damage, I couldn't tell, to, I can't tell who it was I was looking at now. There was a driver that just narrowly avoided, but I think he might have gotten a slight piece of it. And I think it was Bouchard that I was looking at. But we had another incident before this, I think, that involved the 6 of James Richardson. Let's rewind. See what happened to him. Okay, there's the incident right there. It looks like, okay, if you look the bottom of your screen there, and we're going to miss it. Watch the 48 of Blaine Keys. Okay, he got into the 23 of Brandon Gonzalez, spins across the nose of Carson Scott. There's where Dylan Young gets involved. Boy, having trouble there. Ryan Madden goes through the grass, and there you saw the 44 of Mason Powers get collected in there. And then there's where James Richardson gets involved. I think he got turned off the nose of Johnny Gardner down into Ryan Madden, who was running through the grass to try to avoid. And now let's see what happened up in the front of the field in that lead pack with Cody Lamas and Matt McIntyre, John Cittadino. Oh, Cody came back up off the apron, and unfortunately the 8 car was there. Oh, look at the hit Cody Lamas takes. He went up on his roof, and Charles Sanford gets collected up in it. And then watch bottom of your screen, the 72 of John Cittadino I think is going to come into view. Is Cody still on his roof sliding down the front straightaway? Where's Cittadino at? Okay, he's all the way back here. And there's the smoke. And who is it that he's going to hit? He avoids Sanford. Here comes Matt McIntyre. Right there. Gets into the 8 car. And there's Cody still. Finally, that car came back on all 4 wheels after it caught the grass. Well, let's hope that nothing happened while we were gone, because we're getting ready to go back to live action. Well, the last time by, Daniel Voiles was scored as the leader, but it's time for pit stops. On lap 7, Zachary Fitzwater was trying to get to pit road. Looks like he's going to have to stay out an extra lap there. So Circuli will lead them in. Anthony McCrory, Benjamin Miles, Daniel Voiles, Chris Dowd. All coming on to pit lane. A couple of other drivers already were on pit road. Jessica Shelton, JT Bryant. Emmanuel Hartnett's in, Daniel Bouchard, LaPlante, Noah Cars. Here comes William Brock, Jeremy Jones, and Blaine Keys. It's a group there that were staying out. I don't know if anybody out of them are still on the lead lap. I think maybe Ryan Madden is. He was scored 19th last time by. All these other drivers, I'm pretty sure, are off the lead lap. They'd been to pit road to repair damage. There's Ryan Acosta, scored in 17th. I think he actually just made a pit stop. And there's your current leader, Zachary Fitzwater, who was the only driver in the lead pack, to my knowledge, who decided to stay out. Speaking of out, so far the drivers that are officially out of this race are John Cittadino, Cooper Cyron, Cody Lamas, Trent Dunham, Dylan Young. Tim Walsh, second in the points, out of the race, 37th. So he's had a good week, bad week, good week last week at Lime Rock, and now another poor showing here today at Joltis. Also out of the race, Johnny Gardner, Mason Wood, Tristan Folks, Rocco Twyman, and Mason Powers. So 3 of our championship competitors in the chase are out of the race at this current point in time. Mason Powers came in 3rd in the standings, so this is really going to help out Anthony McCurry in that 61 team at this point, as Zachary Fitzwater now gives up the lead and he will come to pit road. So this should cycle the lead back, I would think, to Joshua Circuli, depending on how fast a pit stop Zachary Fitzwater and his team have. Let's see where that lead pack would currently be. There they are, the chasers battling with each other. Circuli and McCrory, they're currently scored 2nd and 3rd. Voiles back in 4th, Miles back in 5th, 6th place Emmanuel Hartnett. Then you got Chris Dowd back here in 7th, 8th place right now Bouchard, 9th would be Holden Gluba. And LaPlante's battling with Noah Cars for 10th. As let's see, where's that 76? He's just now coming off pit road. And remember, he was running by himself for that entire lap that he stayed out. Right now, Circuli and McCrory have been able to draft, and there you see they're going by the John Deere Ford, so Fitzwater will not come out with the lead. He may be able to merge with that group right there of Voiles, Hartnett, Miles, and Dowd. Actually, no. Dowd. I'm never going to get it right, Chris. I'm sorry. Good Lord. I was given the correct pronunciation of the name, and I'm still getting it wrong. Chris Dude? Chris Dude. No. I don't know. Driving me crazy. So we got a 5-car pack here from 3rd on back through 7th. And if they can line up, they can try and reel in the top 2 here. Now, here's an interesting thought. These drivers all came to pit road between laps 7 and 8. Does that mean they're going to be having to make another pit stop somewhere between laps 14 and 16? Or did they come to pit road now with the assured knowledge that they can make it the rest of the way on fuel? Was that their only pit stop of the day? See if anybody else is retired at this point. Nope, still from 32nd on down. So why don't we give you a full field rundown? Joshua Circuli is the leader. Anthony McCurry in 2nd. Right now, chasers running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd with Benjamin Miles in the 3rd position. 4th place is Zachary Fitzwater after the cycle of pit stops. 5th place would be Emmanuel Hartnett. 6th place is now Chris Dowd, as he's actually taking 5th from Hartnett now. 7th place is Daniel Voiles. 8th place would be Daniel Bouchard. 9th place, Holden Gluba. Completing your top 10 is Austin LaPlante. He's in a fight for that position with Noah Cars, right now scored 11th. 12th place is William Brock. 13th, Blaine Keys. So a nice comeback for the 48 car, who was involved in the first wreck of the day. 14th place is Charles Sanford, who we saw did get involved in that incident with Cody Lamas and Matt McIntyre, right now drafting with his teammate Shelton. 15th place right now would be Joshua Lee, taking that spot from Kian Eddington, who now will be 16th. 17th place, that's Ryan Acosta. 18th, Jeremy Jones with damage. Don't know where that damage came from on the 18, but still running in the top 20. 19th place, that's going to be... Oh, Dylan Poteet was involved in something. May have to look at that incident. Who's in 19th place? 19th scored. Oh, James Richardson's blowing up. Might have been him and Poteet that got together. Well, we'll jump back up to the leader, Joshua Circuli, and then update the drivers that are off the lead lap that way. 19th place scored is actually Ryan Madden, who right now is currently scored on the lead lap. So he's 19th. Richardson, who we just saw the engine expire, was scored in 20th place, but that's probably going to change. At this point, right now, 21st place scored is Levi McIntyre. Jessica Shelton, 22nd. JT Bryant, 23rd. 24th, John Arndt. Dylan Poteet, who's sitting idle on pit road, damaged, is scored 25th, but I don't think that's where he'll finish. Carson Scott's 26th. He's been making a number of pit stops, has that 38. Still somehow managing to be just one lap down. 28th place. Actually, Peachy London just jumped up to 25th. Carson Scott up to 26th. So now Pote down to 27th. Leon Alvarez right now 28th. Jake Baskinger 29th. They're now going to fall 2 laps down to the leaders, you can see. Circulate and McCurry working their way around. Also 2 laps down in 30th is Brandon Gonzalez, and 2 laps down in 31st is Matt McIntyre. Everybody else at this point is out of the race. I've been looking at the time segment between the top 2 and 3rd place, which right now is currently held by Benjamin Miles. And they don't seem to be making up much ground on McCrory and Circulate. The laps have kind of, the gap has kind of grown between the top 2 and 3rd on back. That last time by, they gained about half a second. So, apparently they're doing a little too much racing from 3rd on back. And it takes a while here. If you get enough people lined up, you can make good lap times. But the problem is, McCurry and Circulate have been so dedicated at this point to running single file that it's really kind of countering anything that Miles, Fitzwater, Chris Dowd can do. And the other important thing is that they've lost their other drafting help. Emmanuel Hartnett has slipped way back here in the 83. And they had some other help here in Holden Gluba in the 55. They lost him. There was another driver that was up there, wasn't there, that's all of a sudden missing? I don't know. Seemed like they had another drafting partner, and that was Daniel Voiles. That's exactly who it was. And there he is, now damaged, and apparently looks like off the pace. So I don't know what happened with the 26, but was en route to a good run here today, and all of a sudden that appears to have gone up in smoke. Leon Alvarez, Jake Baskinger, looks like they're going to come to pit lane. That last time by, Circulate and McCurry opened their gap up by 2 more seconds. So it's looking like it's going to come down between these two. Now, if you're Anthony McCurry, how hard do you want to battle Joshua Circulate for this win? Circulate's looking for win number 3. McCurry's looking for win number 2. He got denied last week for the victory at Lime Rock. But if you're big picture racing, McCurry came into this race 21 points over 2nd place in the chase standings. At this point in time, the 2 drivers that came in 2nd and 3rd in points are out of the race, Tim Walsh and Mason Powers. The driver that's ahead of you is 39 points behind you, which means that if he wins the race, the most points he's basically going to be able to gain on you would be maybe about 8 points. You'll still have a 31-point advantage over Circulate heading into next week. Not to mention, if you finish 2nd, the number of points you're going to gain on the rest of the chase field. So if you're Anthony McCurry, I'm not certain how hard you race Joshua Circulate for this win and risk wrecking the both of you out of it. They're not going to be pitting this time by, so what we're going to do is we're going to step aside. We're going to find out what's happened to some other drivers that apparently have hit some issues, like Dylan Poteet and Daniel Voiles. We'll be right back. Well, here's what happens that involved both Dylan Poteet and James Richardson. The slower car of Matt McIntyre holding up Ryan Madden. Madden tries to go to the inside line, and McIntyre moves down in front of him. I don't know why McIntyre did that. He was clearly not up to speed. And I don't know if he thought the 88 was going to go to the outside line to pass him or what. But he gets turned around, and then here comes Dylan Poteet. Nails him right there. And then James Richardson also, you saw, got a piece of it. And immediately black smoke erupting from beneath the Advocare Ford Fusion. That's a hard lick there for Dylan Poteet. And nearly got nailed again by Jake Baskinger and Leon Alvarez. Well, remember I had said it looked like Holden Gluba had fallen back as well as Daniel Voiles. Here's why. Gluba moves down and hooks Daniel Bouchard in the right rear, turns him back up the racetrack, and Voiles, just an innocent bystander, collected up in the mess. All 3 cars go up and pound the outside wall, and what was looking like was going to be a solid top 10 day for all three of those drivers. It may very well have come to an end right there with that move. All three of them non-chasers. One of them, Holden Glubel, looking for his second win of the season, and doesn't look like any of the three are going to go to victory lane. The one that got the worst damage out of all that appears to be the 26th of Daniel Voiles, who's just been so consistent the last few weeks, running really well in the standings, and it's like he's not going to have that particularly great a run here today with that move that just happened and that wreck that just took place back on lap number 9. Chris Dowd in the third position just made a pit stop here on lap 14. So that says to me now they're more than likely going to be able to make it the rest of the way after this pit stop. Well, Plant also was in along with William Brock, Noah Cars. They were last time by scored 6th, 7th, and 8th. Blaine Keys also making a pit stop along with Kean Eddington and Charles Sanford. Jeremy Jones is also in. There is Zachary Fitzwater, who is just now coming off of pit road. He actually stayed out an extra lap again like he did the last time around. And he will now be giving up the lead to come to pit road. The lead will probably get cycled back around to the 27 of Joshua Circuli, the 61 of Anthony McCrory. Daniel Bouchard was actually scored second last time by. Is he actually the leader? No, he's now coming to pit road. So Bouchard stays out an extra lap like Fitzwater. And here comes the 27 and the 61. They're going to very easily move back to first and second as they go by the pit road section here. And look at McCrory peeking out of line. Guess now he wants to see what kind of stuff he's got to maybe battle with Joshua Circuli here. The odds of a chaser going to victory lane are very much in favor today. Question is, will it be Circuli or will it be McCrory, as they are dead even going down this back straightaway? And it's very interesting that McCrory was able to actually make that move, because normally at a track like this you need a drafting partner to help you draw even, and it looks like McCrory's got a good enough car, or at least he was able to get a good enough slingshot move to be able to do it on his own. Still side by side. These two might want to think about settling this out at some point though, because they got a couple of machines ahead of them. Brandon Gonzalez right now scored 28th, John Arndt in 23rd, and then ways ahead from that, JT Bryant. We'll wait until the field crosses the line this time by, and then we'll give you a full field rundown again. Uh-oh. McCrory might want to find some way around Brandon Gonzalez. He has to go to the apron to do it, and that may have just lost him touch with the 27 of Circuli. That was not where Anthony McCrory needed Brandon Gonzalez to be. As Circuli crossed the stripe, we have 5 laps to go here today at Zen Joltis. We had 4 more drivers out of the race since we last updated. Daniel Voiles has now retired in 28th. James Richardson 29th, Dylan Poteet 30th, and Matt McIntyre in 31st. All basically involved in the incidents that we showed you the replays of just moments ago. And Circuli nearly ran into the back of John Arndt there, trying to get by him and put him another lap down. Now McCrory, let's see if he can try and reel in that 27 car. Circuli leads the way, looking for win number 3 of the season. Second place, Anthony McCrory, trying to reel him in. Third place scored is Benjamin Miles. He just took that spot away from Zachary Fitzwater, moved Fitzwater back to 4th. 5th place by himself is Chris Dowd. William Brock right now in 6th. 7th place is Noah Cars. 8th place, Emmanuel Hartnett. 9th is Austin LaPlante. And completing your top 10, running by his lonesome, is the 4 of Daniel Bouchard. 11th place, Blaine Keys. 12th is Charles Sanford, but he's battling for that spot with Kean Eddington, who right now is scored in 13th. 14th place is Joshua Lee. 15th, Holden Gluba. 16th is going to be Ryan Acosta. 17th, Jeremy Jones. And I believe that's the last car running on the lead lap. In 18th place, 1 lap down, is Ryan Madden. Jessica Shelton a lap down in 19th. Levi McIntyre 20th. 21st is JT Bryant. Then the first of the drivers 2 laps down, John Arndt in 22nd. 23rd, Carson Scott. Pichu London 24th. 25th, Jake Baskinger. 26th, Leon Alvarez. And then 3 laps down in 27th, the last car running, Brandon Gonzalez in the Mitsubishi Lancer. Battle is on for the lead again. McCrory was able to reel Circuli in, and now he's going to move by, and looks like Audi A5 is going to move to the top position. Trying to clear him. Doesn't have him cleared yet. Circuli still trying to battle back. It's going to come down between these two unless they can't make it on fuel, because third place on back is a full 14.5 seconds. There's no way whatsoever, with the amount of time left in this race, pretty much 3 to go in just a moment, for Benjamin Miles, Zachary Fitzwater to produce any amount of speed to be able to close up a 14+ second gap. Still side by side between McCrory and Circuli. Our closest finish of the season took place at Coca-Cola Speedway. Mason Powers versus Joshua Lee. Will we be able to beat that if these two continue to run side by side? Let's see who gets it at the line here. Circuli trying to get the side draft, and I think he might just get McCrory at the line. Waiting for a scoring monitor update, and it looks like indeed it was Circuli by a splitter who got it that time, but they're still side by side. Let's hope there's no slower machines up ahead to ruin this. Next car they would encounter would be JT Bryant. And we saw before what a slower machine did to break up what was a good battle going on between McCrory and Joshua Circuli. It was Brandon Gonzalez at the time. Hopefully JT Bryant will get out of the way of this battle that is still side by side between these two. I think these two are doing this on purpose. They're saying, hey, let's see who's got the strongest car, mine or yours, and who's going to get this victory. They may get a little more aggressive with each other when they get to the final lap, but for right now I think they're testing each other out, seeing where each other is stronger than the other, and trying to put that in a mental bank for when they get to the white flag. McCrory still on the inside, Circuli on the outside. This reminds me so much of when the Mobil 1 Cup Series had a tie for the championship, and we had to have a one-on-one battle on track between James McLeod and Pichu London. If memory serves me correctly, it was the outside line with Pichu London that won the race. It was here at Joltis. Uh-oh, this may not be good. Are they going to go double wide ahead of him? They nearly wrecked ahead of him with JT Bryan and Levi McIntyre. Where's everyone going to go? Circuli goes to the high side. McCrory to the apron. And Circuli's not quite clear on the 22. I think he is now. And somehow, someway, after all that, they're still side by side. How in the world did they maneuver that? They went almost 4 wide around 2 lap machines, putting them in the middle. One went to the apron, one went to the high side, and they both made it through. And both made it still double wide with each other. Now Circuli tucks in line. And now he's going to choose the inside line. So they swap roles with about 1.5 laps to go. Circuli now to the bottom. McCrory to the top. Is McCrory going to be able to draw alongside on the high side like Circuli did? No. Looks like McCrory's going to let him clear him. And now he may try a crossover. Little bit of cat and mouse here before they get to the white flag. For Circuli, it's about trying to get back into championship contention. For McCrory, it's about trying to completely eliminate his competition for the remainder of the second half of this chase. Down the front straightaway, white flag will be displayed. Will McCrory make the move on Circuli? Right on his back door. And now McCrory looks to go to the high side. Interesting. Actually, I'm not certain. He's not trying to let the 27 open up a bit of a gap here. That's going to allow the 61 to suck back up to the back bumper of the Menard Chevrolet and give him a heck of a run into one of these corners. Circuli and McCrory, actually, while they were battling, the lead between the two of them back to third place actually closed up. McCrory to the apron. Benjamin Miles, Zachary Fitzwater have done a great job. They cut down the gap between themselves and the top two from 14 to now 7 seconds, but they just don't have enough time. And McCrory, is he going to get to the left rear? He is there. He's alongside. This is going to be interesting. Which lane's going to prevail coming out of turn 4? Will it be the outside line with Circuli? The inside line with McCrory? Who gets the run through this corner? McCrory trying to get the side draft. He's still about maybe half a car length back behind the 27. The nose of his machine, the splitter, is just about to the 2 on the side of the Menards Chevrolet. Here we go. McCrory drawing even again, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get the run off the corner like Circuli. Down the front straightaway. Who is it going to be? Will it be McCrory? Will it be Circuli? Circuli with the run the outside line. I believe he got him at the stripe. 2/100ths of a second. Circuli picks up his 3rd win of the season here at Joltis. McCrory wanted the inside line. His car appeared to be better down there. But we saw when they were side by side for a number of laps off turn 4, Circuli would get the good run and the side draft off the 61 car, just edging him out at the line. I'm not really certain if anybody expected any different there on the final lap. Circuli just barely beats McCrory to the line. You gotta give the assist to the side draft for sure. And I see McCrory still side by side with Circuli. I would not be surprised if McCrory is giving Circuli his props right there. A great battle between two chasers here today at Joltis. So Circuli now joins Mason Powers as a 3-time winner this season in the Hersheys Cup Series. But here's the interesting thing. Mason Powers 3 wins all at super speedway. Circuli, a jack of all trades. He has a win at a road course, Infineon, a win at a short track, Bristol, and now a win at a super speedway here today at Joltis. Trying to give time here for the standings to be official. Not certain everybody's crossed the stripe yet. Apparently not. We're still waiting on the 78 of Ryan Acosta, the 18 of Jeremy Jones, and now the standings are indeed official. 21/1000ths of a second that Circuli beat McCrory by. As a matter of fact, why don't we go back to that finish, see if we can get ourselves a camera angle and see just how close that was. There it is. You can clearly see Circuli beats McCrory to the line, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that bested the finish between Joshua Lee and Mason Powers at Coca-Cola. So I believe that's actually our closest finish of the season up to this point. Top 3 swept by chase drivers: Circuli, McCrory, and Benjamin Miles. Zachary Fitzwater, a go or go homer, had qualified his way in. He'll get 4th. William Brock back into his consistent ways with 5th. Manuel Hartnett will get 6th. Chris Dowd 7th. Noah Cars, another chaser, finishing 8th. 9th for Austin LaPlante, and Daniel Bouchard completes the top 10. The rest of the drivers that finished on the lead lap: Blaine Keys will finish in 11th. Holden Gluba in 12th. Charles Sanford 13th. Kean Eddington 14th. Joshua Lee in 15th. Then it's Ryan Acosta 16th and Jeremy Jones 17th. We ended up having, I believe, 8 of our chase drivers finish this race on the lead lap. Then you got Ryan Madden, Jessica Shelton. They were 19th and 20th, a lap down, and completing your top 20. First car, 2 laps down: JT Bryant, Carson Scott, Levi McIntyre, John Art, Pichu London, Jake Baskinger. Leon Alvarez and Brandon Gonzalez were the last of the drivers to finish, with Baskinger finishing 25th. I don't want to say it, but it appears that mathematically he may be out of the hunt for the championship now, regardless of what he does in the next 4 races. And there you see the rest of the drivers have finished out of today's race, most notably the chasers: Tim Walsh in 37th, Rocco Twyman, the pole sitter for this race, in 41st, and Mason Powers in 42nd. Anthony McCrory may not have won today's race, but he has certainly grown his points lead heading into next week. There's no doubt about that. So it'll be interesting to see how this race has shaken up the point standings. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see Noah Cars jump up to 2nd in the point standings, possibly Joshua Lee up to 3rd heading into next week. Maybe Kean Eddington up to 4th. I think you're going to have a lot of drivers jump up in the standings from 2nd on down. But the status quo will be Anthony McCurry still being the points leader heading into next week, and definitely going to have more than a 21-point advantage over second heading into next week as well. So he's going to definitely have a nice cushion and maybe a mulligan race in his future in the next 4 races heading into the season finale. Thank you all so much for watching today's race here from Zen Joltis. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We'll once again show you your finishing results from first on down through 42nd, and we'll see you guys next week as the chase continues on here in the Hersheys Cup Series. You're watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from Zen Joltis.